Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming to you live from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program alone.
That's right. My name's Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast, the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most, here on the Rundown. 2A Views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Oh, yeah.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummity yum. It's like a dream.
Oh, gotta love Taco Tuesday.
Good stuff, right? Right. Did you have a? I know you're remote today. Did you have any tacos today?
I did not. I have not had any tacos today. I have been so busy working and doing my thing. I just have not had the ability to do the level of getting around town the way I would like to.
I understand. I understand now. What town would you be in for all the folks out there watching?
I would be in Anaheim, California, across the street from Disneyland.
Disneyland. Oh, so you're like an old Anaheim.
Yes, I'm in old Anaheim. I'm
There
here
you
for
go.
the California School Boards Association conference, so we're going to be meeting all day and all week and talking about education.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's good stuff. Good stuff. It's it's how long you been on the school board there in
20
Sacramento?
years. I've been on the school board for 20 years. Yeah.
See, very nice, right?
Yeah, since
That's
my
a
kids were
good
in
thing.
elementary school, they are now grown. Now my granddaughter is in the same school district where her parents went to school, or her mother at least.
Wow, it's like a legacy. You got a legacy going on.
It is a legacy. And what's funny is in this particular school district, my wife is an instructional aide. My daughter-in-law is also a teacher. So yeah, the whole family has experienced the Rubla School District.
Sounds like nepotism to me, but all right, sounds good.
Well, exactly. We call it the Robla family.
Nice, nice, very nice, very nice.
And how are you doing today,
Well,
my
that's good.
friend?
Yeah, not too shabby, not too shabby. We gotten some cool weather here in Florida. We're down in the 60s right now, so I'm busting out all my nice cold weather shirts this week.
Okay. Well, now here in SoCal, I think we're experiencing it's going to be 70s, like it's get down to the high 40s at night, but it's like mid 70s during the day.
Oh wow, we hit 39 last night here, and that's all right. It's our 1 week of winter. We get 1 week of winter here, and we get another one in February. It'll be 80 again by this weekend.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'm like, oh, Mike must have been freezing. And what I tell you what, here's the key as to how cold did it get. Did you actually have to put on pants? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Now,
Mikey's got on
pajama
pants.
pants are pants, right?
What?
Pajama pants are pants, right? I said pajama
Yes.
pants are technically pants, right?
Yes.
Yeah, then
Pajama
we're good.
pants are
Yeah,
technically pants.
yeah, yeah,
So he will sleep in the
yeah.
comfort of his own bed wearing long johns, long pajama pants, but he will walk outside wearing nothing but shorts and tennis shoes and a Hawaiian shirt.
With a jacket. Yeah.
With it, yes, you will wear a jacket.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just
Oh,
how we roll, you know.
there you go. There you go. All right, let's. Oh, good stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get into the program. But before we do, you know what we got to do? We got to start with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. If you don't have yourself some good AR barrels on your AR, now's the time to go out and get them. That's hitmanindustries.net. Any caliber, any length barrel you need for your AR rifle or AR pistol. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. You want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market? Get on over to Hog Holsters. It's HAWGholsters.com, Hog Holsters. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get a nice little discount. And if you're looking for field gear, outdoor gear, tactical gear, web gear, paintball gear, whatever it may be, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors. All you have to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, it'll take you to their websites, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over the Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you, if you haven't already done so, please make sure, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. Encourage your friends to do the same. We're trying to grow our audience, and the only way we do that is if you tell your friends, because you know that the algorithms, they're working all against us. They do not want us to succeed. So help us, help you, help our sponsors, help you. Anyway.
The
that's my pitch.
algorithms. Yep.
Do it now.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and get into today's stories. And we're going to start with, I got to tell you, Donald Trump is the perfect example of why it's important to have someone who exhibits strength on the world stage. Now, you want to talk about the difference in terms of how world leaders and how everyone treats Donald Trump. You notice it was funny because world leaders are already calling Donald Trump, and, I'm not going to say that they're bending the knee, but they're definitely making sure to try and get on Donald Trump's good side. They're definitely trying to make sure to be, get in good with him. I mean, he's even met with Castro's son, the guy from up in Canada, Trudeau.
Yes.
He's met to and talked to just about everybody. Well, one of the other things that he has been doing is he has been working very, very hard to make sure that our enemies know what is going down. And one of the things that he did recently was he made it very clear about the whole situation and everything that's going on right now over in Israel and over in Gaza. This being reported from the Washington Free Beacon, it says, all hell to pay, Trump warns Hamas to return all hostages by Inauguration Day or get hit harder than anybody has been hit. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to start World War III. He's going to start World War III. No, this is Donald Trump knowing and understanding that there's such a thing as peace through strength. In other words, we're going to stand up. And here's the deal. If you are our enemy, right, you have 20 of our people. If you don't give us our people back, we're going to come get them, and we're going to go through you in the process. Let's read a little bit of the story here. It says President-elect Donald Trump has a message for Hamas and its benefactors in Tehran. Release the hostages before Inauguration Day or else. In a Monday afternoon Truth Social post, Trump said that everybody is talking about the hostages who are being held so violently, inhumanely, and against the will of the entire world. But it's all talk and no action. He went on to warn Hamas that there will be hell to pay if the remaining Israeli and American hostages taken by the terror group on October 7 are not returned by the time he returns to the White House. Please let this truth serve to represent that if the hostages are not released prior to January 20, 2025, the date that I proudly assume office as President of the United States, there will be hell to pay in the Middle East. And for those in charge who are perpetuating these atrocities against humanity, he wrote. Now, Mike, what I really, really appreciate about what he did here is he's pointing out very clearly, we're coming for you. And it's going to be hell to pay. And he specifically focused on the leaders because whether it's seizing their money and all of their personal assets that are in Western banks, whether it's bombing their personal residences, I don't put anything past Donald Trump. And I think because we, the American people, wouldn't put anything past him, the folks over in Iran are like, uh-oh.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, let's be clear what all hell to pay means. And now he's trying to drive the negotiations now and get everybody released. But on January the 20th, when he gets up there and he swears into office, And Craig, he says, I do solemnly swear, blah, 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 blah. So help me God. The next sentence is going to be scramble the bombers. Let's do it. Let's do it. Dropping JDAMs and Moabs and everything. So you've got nothing but dust left where Hamas used to stand. All right. It's you can't only just threaten it. He's got to come through on it. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to make sure that these hostages are released because they will experience complete and total devastation. It was General Curtis LeMay, one of the Air Force's most famous generals. He said, if you kill enough of them, they'll stop fighting. And that's what he's going to do.
Well, and this is low-hanging fruit. It really is a really good opportunity, and it's something where he can get a win very, very early. And it's, if you look at it, they do succumb to this kind of pressure because look, all you have to do is look back to Ronald Reagan, look back to the Iran hostage deal. They let him go before Ronald Reagan took office because they knew, yeah, if we don't, it could go really bad for us.
Yeah, they actually let them go on January 20th, 1981 at noon is when they let them go, when he was swearing in. Did not give him the chance to say scramble the bombers. But this is just what we expect of him, right? This just, again, points out the failures of the current administration since October of last year. This is how you deal with this problem. You don't put economic sanctions and still provide them with food and health care, of people that are killing your allies. You kill them back. That's what you do.
Well, and that's what war is. Sadly, we've developed this thing where we warn, and that's a Democrat thing. Republicans, well, at least most Republicans, tend to understand the idea that if you punch somebody in the mouth, especially when they are nowhere near as strong as you are, they tend to come into compliance.
Yeah, exactly. Again, back to Ronald Reagan with the line of death in the Gulf of Sidra. Go ahead. When Gaddafi said, cross that line, Reagan went, okay. He went, no, I'm at this line. Okay. No,
yeah.
this. Okay.
No. Well, how about this one?
Yeah. And then we dropped a bomb on his house in the baby's room.
There's nothing wrong with dropping bombs on the right people's houses.
Correct.
Especially when you warned them.
Yeah. And now you see this coming. You think anybody else going to try anything?
No, that once again.
We gave the madman the button. What's going to happen next? Uh-oh.
Exactamundo. All right, folks. Well, that brings us to our second story. If you've been following, there's some chaos that's going on over there in South Korea currently. It's weird. The president there in South Korea has called for martial law, and it's weird because the parliament is like, wait, what the heck is going on? So it says here, this is being reported by BBC, South Korea President Yoon says he will lift martial law he announced hours before. So he's already said he was going to remove it, but let's read a little bit about it. It says here at 11:58, South Korea's President Yoon Suk Yeol said in a televised speech that he tried to assemble the cabinet to lift martial law, but it's early in the morning here, so they couldn't make it. So for some reason, and I'm still not figuring out, Mike, why he decided to call martial law, but he decided to call martial law, and then he wouldn't allow the legislators to actually meet, because they wanted the legislature wanted to meet and actually rescind martial law, and he wouldn't allow them to meet. So now he's trying to get the cabinet together to meet, which I think, by the way, is an excuse. But what's funny about it is, and this is what's interesting about it, is you're hearing a lot of people on the left say, well, see, this is why we didn't want Donald Trump as president, because this is the sort of stuff that he's going to do.
Oh yeah, right. It's happening in one place in the world, and Donald Trump's clearly going to do that. No, you just saw in the last story what Donald Trump's stance is, right? To deal with kind of problems, world problems, or people that threaten him inside his own country. That's a completely different story. We know what Donald Trump tried to do at the last election. He tried to bring in National Guard forces, as he's authorized to do, to help with crowd control, and the left would not allow that. The DC mayor refused, and then we had problems go on there as well. You know, the January 6th tourism event that we saw. But yeah, this is craziness going on in Korea. Let's see how this turns out. I'm not sure how their government procedure works. Whether, you know, if the president issues martial law, can the legislature revoke it? You know, is it under the War Powers Act? I don't know. I'm not familiar with Korean you know, government procedure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but once again, I think it's important for people to understand. And to me, it's just another symbol or idea that there's a lot of chaos going on in the world, and people need to understand we are. I mean, there is a very thin veil of civilization and order, and it's important for us to understand that because one, don't take for granted what we have here in the United States when you see what's going on, whether it's in France, whether it's in Italy, whether it's in England or Great Britain, or what's going on in South Korea. It's very thin veil of civilization. So number one, uh, once again, don't take it for granted. But number two, it's important to stand up for the principles upon which our nation is founded. And I think too often, it's important to not over, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, when people start to look at stuff like this, and say, oh, well, this is what Donald Trump is going to do, despite all evidence to the contrary. I mean, there is no evidence. If anything, Donald Trump demonstrated that he was probably one of the least sort of controlling or tyrannical presidents in our lifetime. Now, he had less executive orders. Now, he said a lot, but did he really implement it in policy? What I've come to realize is a lot of the stuff he said actually helped spur people to action to get a policy that actually was reasonable and worked and benefited we the people.
Imagine that, rather than doing everything all sneakily and putting it in a executive order or hiding it in a bill that's in Congress, and just doing the things you want, you know, that nobody approves of. He puts his policy out there ahead of time. Here's what I'm going to do. If this isn't solved, I'm going to do this. If to keep jobs in this country, I'm going to impose tariffs. If they don't release terrorists, I'm going to release all hell on them. Hey, what a unique idea to go into the room and say, this is my intent. If we don't get this cleared by then, this will happen. Wow. Just talk about communicating.
It's called F around and find out foreign policy.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not against that one. So now, Mike, we have this story here dealing with the Ninth Circuit. Did you want to introduce the story, or did you want me to go ahead and introduce it?
Oh, go right ahead. I'll just provide the commentary as usual.
Okay. Well, you might have heard me refer to the California's Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals as the Ninth Circus Court of Schlemiels. And that's pretty much what they would represent. Well, there is a new ruling out, that basically is so wrong it's wrong on a couple of different fronts. But I'll go ahead and I'll read the story here to you. It says here, judge ordered the VA to build thousands of new veterans housing units in Los Angeles. An appeals court halted it. The Ninth Circuit's stay stay blocks the construction of new permanent and temporary housing on a 388-acre campus until at least April. It says here, a federal judge ordered the Department of Veterans Affairs to build more than 2,500 new units of housing on its West Los Angeles campus has been put on hold for several months after an appeals court issued a stay. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals extended a previously granted temporary stay at the end of November. The appeals court set a hearing on the matter for April 2025, effectively halting any construction of new housing ordered by Carter until then, at the absolute earliest. The stay puts a stop to at least the next 4 months to the federal judge David O. Carter's ruling in a major lawsuit against the VA. Brought by veterans and advocates for unhoused veterans. In September, Carter ruled that the VA, quote, has not made good on promise to build housing for veterans. He ordered the Department of Veterans Affairs to build 1,800 new supportive housing units on its large campus in West Los Angeles, as well as 750 temporary housing units uh, within a year to 18 months on the site in order to immediately get unhoused veterans shelter. Mike, do you have any sort of a backstory or anything like that on this particular thing as to what I mean? So the issue is, I'm assuming they're suing because VA is supposed to build this housing and they haven't built the housing, and now all of a sudden, now the Ninth Circuit is blocking the housing that they were mandated to build.
Yeah, so the money was all budgeted. It was all put in place to build the temporary and permanent housing units there on a 388 acre facility. Craig, I'm kind of astounded. I don't even know where you get 388 acres in Los Angeles or in Los Angeles County. But evidently they have the property. The VA has it. There were some other buildings on there. They couldn't seem to get them done, get rid of these old buildings because of old leases uh, and 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 that was their purpose for not building them. Well, Judge O'Connor here, I'm going to call him O'Carter because it sounds like a nice Irish name. Judge O'Carter. He came in and he came in and said, "Boom, here you go. The leases are now invalidated by the court. Get out there and tear them down. I want these to be built according to your plans, according to what the government has already set forth to do. I am a government official. I'm going to make sure this happens." And he ordered it, and it started getting done. And they tore down these buildings, and they've started construction out there. And somebody there and locally said, "No, no, no, no. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do this." So even though there's money, Craig, already set aside to build housing for disabled and homeless veterans, people in California, your politicians down there in Southern California have decided we don't want to do it. We don't want it. We have a homeless problem, but we don't care. We don't care about veterans. If anything, we want to use the money to do, immigrants, right? We're going to do immigrant housing. Sorry, not what the money's for. This is set aside by the federal government to build housing for disabled and homeless veterans. And now the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has said, no, here's an injunction. You don't have to do it. We'll have a hearing in a couple of months. They just don't care. It's all policy, Craig. How much did we see leading up to the election? We have to get rid of the homeless problem. We have to get rid of the homeless problem. We have to take care of our veterans. And here you go. Democrat appointed judges saying, no, we're not doing it.
It's beyond frustrating, sir. And this once again, we're not talking about money that's like brand new money that's got to be found out there. It's already there. All they got to do is do it.
This is the kind of thing where once President Trump takes office, you'll see, and this has happened in California before, it happened during his term, he's going to say, the money's there, build the damn housing. And if you don't, all funding will stop coming to you.
Well,
you'll get nothing.
And
nothing.
It's important for people to understand, and this is the whole key behind his philosophy and his appointments, is he's not bringing in bureaucrats, people who are used to placating the system. He's bringing in people who are coming in to break it and build it back up the way it's supposed to be, to bring in efficiencies, to get rid of the bureaucracies, the people who are interested in building their fiefdoms. They're not interested in helping people. They're interested in building their fiefdoms and making more money. And I'm like, they're not doing what their core mission is.
You're going to burn the red tape. You're going to make it happen.
Oh, I like that one. Burn the red tape. I like that. All right, I'm going to credit you the first time I use it. After that, it's mine.
Gotcha. All right, that'll work.
All right, folks, this next story, Dems are losing it. Oh, they're not losing it. There are a few things where Republicans and Democrats actually sound like we agree. And it's the more you hear people, the more you hear a number of Democrats talking about the Hunter Biden pardon, the more they are realizing they're like how bad a spot it puts them in. Because it literally says, okay, you've got this rich white guy who's doing drugs, who's messing with guns, who's bringing in boatloads of cash, breaking the law, and he's not going to be held accountable. At the same time, you're telling people that our justice system is created equal, right? Well, they're not buying it. They are definitely not buying in. And this is an example. This is a host over at CNN who pretty much is sharing what a lot of Democrats are feeling about the Hunter Biden uh, pardon.
With 50 days left in his presidency, Joe Biden just set off a political time bomb before leaving for Africa today and leaving his party behind to deal with the blast radius. Tonight, there are growing questions from some and growing concerns from others about how President-elect Donald Trump will use Biden's pardon of his son Hunter to his advantage. Rarely, if ever, have we heard from both Biden and Trump on the same page about anything. But now, it's in print. Their mutual anger at the Justice Department, as evidenced in Biden's announcement that came down late last night, clearing his son of his convictions on gun and tax charges, where Biden said, and I'm quoting him now, "I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. The charges in his cases came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Raw politics has infected this process, and it led to a miscarriage of justice." Now, following a statement like that at times sounded like something Trump himself could have posted on Truth Social, the special counsel who prosecuted Hunter Biden responded saying, quote, "There has never been any evidence of vindictive or selective prosecution in this case." Now, regardless of where you view those statements, by pardoning his son, who Biden was seen with this weekend, I should note, over Thanksgiving, some are arguing that he's undercut his own longtime claims that no one is above the law and his own pledges to restore independence to the Justice Department.
One of the things I was committed to do when I ran was reestablish the reputation and integrity of the Justice Department. It has become it was corrupted under the last administration. Did not, have not, and will not pick up the phone and call the Attorney General and tell him what he should or should not do in terms of who he should prosecute.
The most glaring contradiction, of course.
Now, Mike, what gets me about that is, now mind you, he says there's never been selective prosecution in this case. And keep in mind, these are the same folks who put together a sweetheart deal that they tried to sneak past a judge, put it in a whole nother document that if she hadn't read it, would have given him this very same blanket immunity on everything, as long as he pled guilty to the gun charges. And I'm like, not selective prosecution?
Yeah, right. Greg, I got a little different view on this. It's a ruse. The Democrat outcry is a ruse. They all love that Hunter pardon was Biden, but they can't say that they love it, because if they all come out and agree with what President Biden did, that clears the path for President Trump to do the same thing. So they all have to stand up and say, "Oh, this is a bad thing. He never should have done it. It was favoritism. He never should have done it." Because if they don't say that, then President Trump can do the same thing. Well, I'm just doing what your president did. I'm just doing it the same way he did. So they have to stand up and say they disagree in order to keep President Trump from doing it.
You know, that is not a bad analysis. I really don't have anything else to add to that, because I think that is an excellent analysis. I think they're crying foul because they know that it was, they're basically admitting it, but they're blaming him. They're blaming it. Oh yeah, no, it definitely was balanced. It was definitely was unfair. He shouldn't have done it. Yada yada yada. But you know what? He's a rich old white guy. What do you expect?
Yeah. If they come out and said it's okay to do the pardon because of what the pressure from Trump was, well, that lets Trump say the opposite. Well, we did a pardon because of the things Biden did. They have to say Biden shouldn't have done this in order to keep Trump from trying to do the same.
Exactly. All right, folks. Well, hey, that's going to bring us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. Our parting shot today is going to be, well, you know how we love these lists, right? Our parting shot today is going to be another list from our good friends over at the Babylon Bee. Fake news that you can count on. And it's 10 drastic changes Kash Patel will bring to the FBI. I wasn't going to do this list, but then I read through it again. I was like, oh my God, I love this. So let's get through it real quick. Number 1, all FBI agents will go back to wearing trench coats, carrying snub-nosed revolvers, and saying, see, like after every statement, like presentation matters, see?
Good one.
That is a good one. That is a good one. Then you've got cancel all current plans to assassinate Donald Trump.
Yes, good plan.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All of Melania's underwear recovered during Mar-a-Lago raid must be returned. They've had
Yeah,
it
come
long
on,
enough.
enough is enough. Yeah, enough is enough.
From now on, all agents must submit a written request before grooming a mass shooter.
Yeah, right. I mean, all the mass shooters they've had, they've just never panned out. I guess somebody
There you
correct.
go. X-Files will be reopened.
Duh, that's an easy one.
That's an easy one. New applicants must weigh under 400 pounds.
Yeah, and they must be able to identify where their holster is too.
There you go. Must be able to identify where their holster is. The chief officer of quadriplegic black lesbian representation will be fired.
Yes, goodbye. Wheel your butt out of here.
There you go. Remove all 850 wiretaps at Mar-a-Lago.
Yes. Yep.
Agents are now required to arrest pedophiles
Oh, you're going to get pushback on that. That's for
instead
sure.
of being them.
Yep.
Oh, and no more work retreats at Epstein Island.
Yeah, I mean, at least they don't have the oil problem there like they do at Tittyland or Diddyland.
Oh, fun stuff, fun stuff. All right, folks, well, we got to get ready to roll. But before we do, you know what we do. We're going to give another quick shout out to our sponsors.
That's right. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get your AR barrels, any caliber, any length you need for your next AR rifle or pistol build or rebarrel your current platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And of course, if you need the best in field gear, tactical gear, outdoor gear, hunting gear, web gear, paintball gear, whatever it is, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
All right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We're going to be out today. We will be back tomorrow on Hump Day. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and if you get a chance, remember, send a few downrange. I'll holler at you later.